Welcome to another episode of Clash Wrestling 360. I am the star and most charismatic host of the best Clash Wrestling podcast in the whole world, Lance Brock. Today is April 19th, 2016. And we are only 4 days away till Age of Allegiance this Saturday night. And this is the podcast that is all about collective league of adrenaline, strength, and honor. And today's episode is all about Age of Allegiance coming up this Saturday night at the Taylortown Trade Center right here in Taylor, Michigan, as always at the Taylortown Trade Center. And before I get started previewing Age of Allegiance, I'm going to go back once again, talk about Clash to the Future Part 8, where it was a crazy night. Unfortunately, there was some time traveling that involved my boys, The Clash. We saw Cameron Sky go back to that silly Ace High nonsense. We saw Tommy Tresnick, Randy Casey, and Jack Vaughn time travel, and now there's the mad scientist Tommy Tresnick and Dr. Randall Casey and Dr. Jack Vaughn. I tried to interview Dr. Randall Casey, as now he wants to be called, during intermission, and I don't know what's happened to him. Maybe he got stuck when he time traveled or whatever, but he is no longer my good friend Randy Casey, and that is very unfortunate. Very sad. I don't know what's going to happen now. And Dave Manzo, I have no idea what's going on with him. Well, he had a match with Justin Maine at Clash to the Future. He was out of it. He did not even pay any attention to that match. That's why he was defeated by the main event, Justin Maine. And now we have been seeing these mysterious videos on the Clash Wrestling YouTube channel. I have no idea what those videos could mean, but we will find out this Saturday night at Age of Allegiance. And speaking of this Saturday night, let's run down the card of the big show this Saturday. The new Clash Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, the Caveman Elk, will be in action, taking on RJ City. And that is quite a treat for everybody, and you're going to want to be there to see that match. And there is a huge 6-man tag team match. The Entourage, Mr. Greed, Brutus Dillon, and Evan Craig will be taking on the Clash Tag Team Champions, the Midnight Society, Maserati Rick and Usama Lion, and their partner, GQ Gavin Quinn. Should be another great match. And on the Clash to the Future pre-show, I tried to call a truce with Maserati Rick, and now we're best buddies, and hopefully the Midnight Society and Gavin Quinn will be victorious. Of course they will be, now that they're being cheered by the star and most charismatic host of the best Clash Wrestling podcast in the whole world, Lance Brock. That's me. And also taking place at Age of Allegiance. It is the 2016 Triple Crown Cup Tournament Finals. As I mentioned earlier, Ace High Cameron Sky is back, and he will be taking on the mad scientist Tommy Tresnick and the main event Justin Main. That will be a fantastic match, I'm sure, and the winner will be the number one contender for the Clash Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. And we have a women's match, and Dominique Fabiano is making her return to Clash Wrestling, and she will be taking on someone who has not been in Clash Wrestling for a few years, and that is Xandra Bale. That is a match that will be very good to see live, and you don't want to miss it. Two very talented ladies, and the Omega Atlas Hightower will be taking on Dave Manzo. As I mentioned earlier, I have no idea what is going on with that former Clash member. It's just unfortunate what has happened to my boys, the Clash. But I guess it's time to move on. It looks like the Clash is done, over, finished. And also, we're supposed to see a ridiculous scientific exhibition with the H3RDs, Jack Vaughn and Randall Casey. Now they're doctors from 2019 apparently, which is, in my opinion, is just ridiculous. They were part of the most dominant faction in the history of professional wrestling, and now they're scientists from the future. And like I said, it's just ridiculous. But still, the rest of the show is going to be great, taking place this Saturday night at the Taylortown Trade Center in Taylor, Michigan. Tickets are available now for the pre-sale, ClashWrestling.com. 4 for $40 or only $12 each. You only have till Thursday to order the pre-sale tickets, so order them now. But if for some reason you cannot order the pre-sales, they will be available this Saturday night when the gate opens at 7:30, and only $15 each, which is also a great deal to see the best wrestling promotion in the world, Clash Wrestling, Age of Allegiance, at the Taylortown Trade Center on Ecorse Road in Taylor, Michigan. And trust me when I say you're gonna want to be there, and there is a major announcement that will be made this Saturday night. And of course, the star and most charismatic host of the best Clash Wrestling podcast in the whole world, Lance Brock, will be there. And hopefully we'll have some pre-show interviews, maybe even an intermission report, the post-show right after. But whatever you do, be there. Taylortown Trade Center, Ecorse Road, this Saturday night for Clash Wrestling Age of Allegiance. Now, before I go, gotta get in some plugs. You can like this podcast, Clash Wrestling 360 on Facebook. And for more info, ClashWrestling.com, Clash Wrestling on Facebook, at Clash Wrestling on Twitter, Clash Wrestling on Instagram. And that is all for this episode of Clash Wrestling 360. We'll be back Saturday for pre-show, post-show interviews. And until then, I am the star and most charismatic host of the best Clash Wrestling podcast in the whole world, Lance Brock. And I will see you this Saturday night at Age of Allegiance. Show over.